Hi traders. In this video I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I've been getting quite often. It has to do with money management and how to be in the money or be as close to 100% in the money. We'll start off with money management first. One thing that I believe every single one of you need to wrap your head around, and it doesn't matter how competent a trader you become, is that every single trade you take, it's a new trade entirely. So it doesn't matter if you've had a winning streak and you've had 20 winning trades in a row. It doesn't mean that the 21st one and 22nd one and 23rd one is just going to automatically be in the money for you. So what you've got to do is ensure that you follow your criteria every single time. There are traders out there that email me on a regular basis that have done the EMA6 strategy, and they say, hey Shiva, I've won 18 and only lost 2 out of the 20 trades that I've done. And then all of a sudden the next couple of days they'll say, hey, I don't know what went wrong, I just lost 5 in a row. There's a couple of things that I have an issue with in regards to what they just said. The first one being that person is over trading. Okay, if they're doing 20 trades in a few days, you are over trading, because that, again, it is nice to be able to do that, but it goes against the whole goal that you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to make $1 million overnight, fantastic, go do 200 trades if you want to. But if this is going to be something that you want to do for your lifestyle, and you want to be able to nail a few really good trades every single day, certainly demo that quite a lot, but ensure when you're doing a live trade that this is only just a few, because your goal is not to do a whole heap of $25 trades. Your goal is just to do a couple of, like, 250, 500, $1,000 trades eventually. Okay. The other issue that I have with this is where after the 18 wins and 2 losses, they become cocky. When you become cocky about anything in life, it doesn't matter what you're good at, and you become cocky in regards to that, what you're going to start doing is making mistakes. Right? You're going to be cutting corners, and that's another thing that I see, where once they've hit their wins with the perfect criteria, what they've started to believe is that this whole thing is in their blood all of a sudden, so they just can't go wrong. When I say you've got to expect 100% in the money, I also mean that you've got to do everything in relation to ensuring that you are going to end up 100% in the money. It doesn't mean that, once you've got your strategy down pat, that you start to believe that, hey, if everything feels right to you all of the time, you're just going to take a trade, because at some point you will miss something. So in order to not make that mistake, one, don't be cocky, and two, make sure that you look at every single trade as a new trade. So as you've completed your trade, you've written down the main stuff that you need to write down about that trade. Say, for instance, you need to take a screenshot. Take that screenshot, put it wherever you need to. The next setup that comes along is a brand new trade. Forget about what you've done in the past, whether you've won trades or you lost trades. Forget about all of that. It's a brand new trade. You restart your criteria. Okay, so again, pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to where your mind is at presently. Pay some attention to your environment. If any of that's going to impact on you, maybe change something. Maybe change your environment. But if you believe you can control your environment, you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotions, then you're ready to take a trade. Then you're waiting for the market to bring you the setup. Don't try and preempt what the market's going to do. So it's and this is the mistake a lot of people make, is where they'll take a trade and they'll be talking to their computer screens, trying to tell the market what to do. You don't want to trade that way. You want to be as calm as you possibly can, be as patient as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, this whole entire game is about patience. Who's going to blink first, literally. In this case, you want the market to blink first. When the market blinks, you know what it's going to do, and then you know when to take your trade. Okay, there are traders out there, professional ones, that only take specific setups. They'll wait for that. If they don't see the specific setup, it doesn't matter how familiar everything else is to them. They'll just say, look, I know this is possibly going to be in the money, possibly or probably, but they'll say, I'm still waiting for my setup. It happens in Forex all of the time. Okay, that's how they ensure that they remain perfect traders. Day traders, they start to lose money because eventually they do get cocky, eventually they get tired, but they're still trying to push through. For me personally, I'm more of a lifestyle trader. That's all I'm teaching here. So again, if my teaching style is kind of somewhat different, you can go and find other teachers, other YouTube channels that teach something differently. But for me, it is entirely about lifestyle. For you guys, I assume it's the same thing. You'd like to trade, so you can possibly become free. Okay, so ensure that please every single trade you take is a new trade. The next thing when it comes to money management is this. Start off your live accounts with a minimal of about $250 to $300 maximum. Don't put in 500, don't put in $1,000, don't put in whatever your account manager tells you to put in. Okay? Just start with 250 to 300. There's a reason behind that. A lot of people are asking me, Shiva, how do I build confidence because I still feel fear when I've taken a trade? Well, that's the reason why I say go out there and demo. Okay, because here's a couple of things that will happen when you're demoing about 200 trades. Not only are you mastering your strategy, you're also learning and gaining confidence, because each time you take a trade on demo and you win that, you are kind of telling your brain and your subconscious mind that this is what you're looking for, this is how you're going to trade, and the fact that at the end of the result you know how to do it, you've done it. And so if you win 9 trades out of 10, say for instance you have that losing trade, you'll analyze again why you would have lost that trade, but in your mind you also are at the awareness that you can win those 9 other trades. You know how to do this, you've done it in the past. So you've probably heard that saying, practice makes perfect. Guys, it's no different in this instance. Keep practicing, and that practice will eventually make it this whole experience perfect for you. And trading is also not just clicking on a button on your screen. It has entirely to do with what you're doing with the mind as well. So you can just sit carefully and look at the charts and trade that way. You can write them down on paper trading. You don't have to always demo that. You can always say, okay, I would enter here, draw in your support resistance lines if you have to, put in a line where you would have entered your trade, and then sit and watch. So then come back if you're going to trade for multiple candles or just that singular candle, come back and have a look at that and see if that would have been in the money or not. Write that down somewhere. Okay, learn from every single experience. And if you are spending time in front of your computer, I'd like for you to walk away from that understanding and knowing completely what you've just learned from that experience. If you're walking away from there and you're more confused than you were when you started in the first place, you're doing something wrong. You should become more familiar with all of this stuff as you go along. Okay, so back to the point now of only putting in about $250 to $300 max. This is after you've done your demo trades. This is after you've gained confidence, you've nailed your emotions, you've perfected your strategy, and even if you're using one of my strategies, the story that you tell behind that has got to be your entire own. Okay, forget about what I'm saying about what the market makers are doing or the spike to the low or whatever it is. You need to be able to tell your own stories. You can name your candles if you want to. The green candles are Jack and the red ones are Jill. Jill's going for a walk down south or whatever it is, but you need to be able to make this entirely your own. Okay, once you've done that, you set up a live account, only put in $250 to $300 max. The reason for that is this: the experience that you gain from building that account up to say $1,000, $1,250, $1,500 or so is completely priceless. No guru out there, no teacher, no mentor, no groups, no signal providers, no $10,000 course whatsoever will ever teach you what you're going to gain from the experience of building a live account from about 250 to up to whatever level you want to take it. I guarantee you this. You can demo as much as you want to, and you will have the confidence and all of that sort of stuff. But when you're jumping onto a live account, there is a change. The mechanics within your mind does shift. Okay? Ensure that you follow through with that whole entire time. It might take you a week, might take you a couple of weeks, but when you do put in the conscious effort within that time frame to build your account up, again I say this, listen to me carefully. that experience you're going to gain is going to be priceless. And just that experience itself will transform you as a trader, not from just being a new trader, a newbie as you would say it, but to someone that is entirely competent. Because the technicalities of trading, there isn't much. Okay, I don't know what else is there for me to teach you. There isn't really much there. But that experience of knowing yourself, knowing when to take the trade, and especially on a live account, it will transform you as a trader. So don't put in any more money than $250 to $300. And here's what you do: money management. Okay, if you've got 250 to 300 in there, and you're starting to pick one strategy to 2 or 3 trades a day. Okay, start off with $25 trades. Build up your account until it gets to about 1250. So say for instance you've put 250 in there as your principal balance. Build it up doing $25 trades until it gets to 1250. Then put in for a withdrawal of $250 or whatever your principal balances was. That does a couple of things. One, you're pulling out your seed capital. So that way, say for instance the broker does screw you, you don't lose any money. The next thing is also you get to experience a little bit about the speed at which your broker is processing your withdrawal. Are you going to have any issues with these guys? If you do, well, let's hope you have signed up with a regulated broker. Chances are you get your principal balance back if you are with a regulated broker. If you're not, then the maximum amount you can lose is just 250. Okay, if you wait too long and say for instance you've become emotionally connected to your balance and your trading, say for instance you build up to 5 grand and then you realize that your trader is going to stuff you around, yes, you've only still lost 250, but you're also going to lose a lot of your confidence and possibly the goodwill, the good feeling within you about trading or towards trading or in relation to trading. Okay, you don't want to deal with that sort of feeling because it's gonna take a lot of effort to get rid of all of that and then to get your feet wet again. All right, so withdraw the 250. Now you have $1,000 left in your account. Now that's the money that you will play with. Okay, from that point on, what you do is you go in and instead of $25, you do $50 trades. Same thing, 2 or 3 trades a day, but this time with $50 amounts. Build that up to $2,000, and then you can increase your trade amount to $100 trades. Build that up to possibly $3,000, and then from that point on, you decide how much money do you want to make. If you need to do $250 a day in terms of trading volume, so you make $200 a day return or whatever amount it is, then you can decide whether you need to do $250 trades. Say for instance, once you get to about 3,500, 4,000 or so, and then from that point on, can you increase that to $500 trades once you've built up above 5,000 in your account? So something along those lines. Do that. But certainly, in saying this, someone will say to me, Shiva, that's 10% of your balance. If you're doing $500 trades on a $5,000 account, it's too much. Probably is. But remember, the aim here is that you've mastered your strategy, having done demo trades, and then doing your $25 trades to build up your account about 1250 or 1500 or so. That experience would have cemented your ability so much that you would be in a position to be able to nail those trades, right? To finish off just the money management bit, it's as much as we need to keep track of how much money we're putting down on a trade in relation to what our balance actually is, what's also important is trade selection. You need to be very selective of the trades you do take because the patience that is involved is really what's going to determine how much you win and how much you lose. If you're an impatient person, well, you need to do some other activities that's going to teach you some patience. Because trading is not one of those games where you can be cocky and you can hype everything up. Okay, so don't do that. And in having said that, please, when you're looking at Facebook, there's a comment I read. Someone quite intelligent, wise person, I believe, wrote this down. Is when you say you always hear that 98% of traders out there actually lose money with forex, binary, whatever it is. But for whatever reason, on social media, especially the likes of Facebook, what you're going to see is a lot of people, or 98% of the people, talking about how much money they're actually making, right? That to me says someone's lying somewhere. This is the reason why I say to you, stay away from these groups, because you don't want that unnecessary noise. Understand that there's a whole heap of people out there that are losing money. If they weren't, a lot of these Ponzi scheme, scammy binary options brokers that exist out there, they would have gone bankrupt within a month. Okay, understand that they would have gone bankrupt within a month, because there is no other source of income for them unless someone that puts in money into their accounts actually loses it. There is more people losing money than there are gaining money off of this. So understand that majority of the stuff you see on Facebook is just a complete load of shit. Okay, if you do see it and you want to pay attention to it, analyze it closely, you're going to see all sorts of figures. Now, in relation to that, something just popped into my mind. When you're taking your trades, so when you're doing your $25 trades, say for instance you've just done 4 trades and it's been fantastic, and you said, hey, this is in the money, this is easy, I've just easily been able to pick the setups and I've taken my trade. Please don't jump on there and do a $250 trade straight after that. I've had someone who said to me last week he was nailing the setups off the M's and the W's on the 15-minute strategy that I've put on my channel, and then he started to get cocky, and I believe the following day he lost the $500 that he made the previous day. And that's what you don't want to be doing. Make sure you follow this sort of a setup that you're constantly just building. If you're doing $25 trades, make sure all of your trades are $25. Don't say, hey, my 5th one's going to be $250 because I'm so awesome, I've just nailed 4 of them. Chances are, yes, you've just nailed 4 of them on a $25 trade, and you've made an $80 return for the day so far. And you go in and you say, I'm going to put $250 down, you lose that. Well, you're not $80 in the money anymore. You're in actual fact, what would that be? That's $170 out of the money. Think about that. Please don't do that. I see this all the time on Facebook where people are putting all sorts of screenshots in. I've killed the market, but in actual fact, it's all sorts of crazy trades. Make sure whatever trades you do, the amount that you put on the trades, it's all consistent, the same amounts constantly. I'd like to also talk about martingaling here. You will see, if you're following webinars from brokers especially, and a lot of cocky groups out there, where they will teach you to martingale. For account holders that actually have a decent sized money in their accounts, and especially a trader who is competent and they know what they're doing, chances are that they might be able to recoup any of their losses with 3 or 4 trades. Okay, chances are. But say for instance someone's trying to do a reversal trade on a trend going up or a trend going down. Can you imagine how many trades they probably have to do before they get a winning one? If you don't have a decent sized balance, you probably wipe out your account. Don't do that. Martingaling is gambling. It's not trading. And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's literally where you're constantly doubling up as you are losing money or losing trades until you actually do win a trade. Okay, again, that's one of those strategies where you will lose money unless you absolutely know what you're doing. So if you see this sort of stuff with groups, watch them, certainly learn from that, but there's never a guarantee unless you're a competent trader in being able to pull that off. All right. Next thing, being in the money. This is something that really bothers me, because there's a lot of people that say, hey Shiva, I've been watching your videos and I follow all of your advice, but then they'll say to me, I don't believe you can hit 100% in the money, Shiva. You know, I'm barely doing 60%. So the first question I ask them is, well, okay, tell me what it is that you're doing. And they'll say to me, well, you know what I did was I looked at your strategy, it looked great to me, and then I added a stochastics to that, and then I added RSI, and you add this and you add that, and I added ADX, and you know, it was working brilliant for me, and I'm only getting 60% return. There's something wrong with your strategy. And so I asked, where in my videos did I actually say add a stochastics or an RSI or an ADX or whatever? And at that point in time, they'll be like, oh no, you didn't mention all of this. But this is what I have a problem with. And then I'll ask them, hey, well, how many trades did you do prior to adding your indicators to it? And I'll say, oh, I probably did 20 or 30 of them. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's pick the 30 that you have done. How many did you win and how many did you lose? Oh, about 60%. No, give me solid figures. How many of the 30 did you win or did you lose? Did you win 18 out of 30? I'm not sure. Why aren't you sure? Did you write these trades down? No. Okay. Well, if you haven't written this down, if you're not following the rules that I've established, then why are you saying that you're watching my videos and then this is happening? Because if you're watching my videos, then you've clearly heard me say over and over and over again that this is what you need to do. I've had people that I've had calls with, and they'll say, hey, Shiva, you didn't give me any rules. These are the rules. This is what I'm saying to you. This is my outline. This is the boundary. These are the rules. This is what you've got to follow. In order to maintain, whether it's a 90% in the money, me personally, I don't understand anything under 100% in the money. That's what your aim is. Yes, there are going to be times when you will lose trades. And with some of the European brokers, it's possibly advisable to lose trades deliberately. Simply because if you're always going to be awesome with your trades, chances are, yes, you will be over the radar and they will start to do weird and wonderful things with your account. But having said that, what you do want to do eventually is to nail every single trade you take. So here's how you're going to do it. One is keep everything as bloody simple as you can. Okay, I can't stress that point enough. I don't know how to make it any more simple by saying keep it simple. So get rid of all the crap off your charts. Get rid of everything else that is noise to you in your mind. Okay, anything that stands between you entering a perfect trade and exiting that trade having put more money back into your pockets. And that includes dealing with the right brokers, because I don't want to just win a trade on the screen itself. All right, I don't care how many people say, hey, I've got $100,000 in my account. That means shit all to me. That $100,000 is only good when it's in my pocket. When it's sitting here in an Australian bank account or in your bank account, whichever country you're in, then that's real money to me. Okay, if I can withdraw that and I can blow it up, that's my money. That's when I know, okay, I've just made 100 grand. But if you say, hey, I've just done this, that means nothing to me. So part of your strategy is from the moment you enter your trade till exiting that trade, you haven't really won that trade until that money has been withdrawn into your bank account. So that whole entire thing has to now be part of your simple strategy. It's a business now, guys. This is no longer just gambling on a website or at a casino. This is a business, and that's exactly how you've got to see it. You are your client. You are your own financial advisor at this stage, right? You want to make your client happy, so you've got to go out there, keep everything simple. If you're trying to complicate this, I'm going to say it outright to you guys now, I don't want to help you. If you want to complicate it, go somewhere else, go do something else, all right? But please don't come to me and say, hey, Shiva, you know what, something's not right here. I've watched all your videos and this is going on. If I ask you these questions and you say no to any of them, then I'm going to have problems with this. It's, for example, is have you removed all the noise? Have you removed all the indicators? If you say, no, I'm still using this sort of stuff, I'm still waiting for stochastics to do its thing. Guys, oftentimes by the time the indicator will show you what the result has been, it's already too late, right? The market's already done its false move. People will usually enter that trade and possibly even lose that. The other thing, write every freaking bloody trade down. Every single one of them. Okay, I'm not annoyed right now. I'm just trying to put more energy into this so you guys will pay attention. But please write down every single trade you take, the winning ones, the losing ones, the ones you do on demo, because the reason behind them is this. You're going to analyze that. You're going to study that a little bit. That is what's going to help you ensure that the next trade you take, if you've made a mistake in any of the ones that you've lost, and even the ones you've won, if there's been a mistake in them, but you've somehow luckily won that, you're going to learn from that. And if you're not learning from every trade you're taking, you're doing something wrong. If you say to me, Shiva, I've done 50 trades, I've done 100 trades, man, I'm still about 60% in the money, I don't know what else to say to you. I'll be asking you, well, have you learned what went wrong? No. Did you write them down? No. What is it that I can do for you then? I can't help you, and I'm making this very clear. The main difference between the most successful traders on the planet, that 1% we're always talking about, and the losing guys, it's just this. I know so many professionals from my vocation that trade both forex and trade in the share market and all sorts of other financial products. This is the one thing that every single person who knows their shit actually does. They write every single trade down. I still write all my trades down. Someone asked me, Shiva, how do you stop yourself from doing a crap load of trades? And I'm like, well, I don't like admin work so much. So I make sure that every trade I take, I write down, and that really stops me from doing a whole lot of trades, because I know if I could just go in there to do a stupid ass trade, guess what? I'm gonna have to write that down, and I want to try and avoid that. So I avoid the crappy trades. Please write it down. Write down the currency pair, what time frame you're on. So if it's a 15-minute chart, write down 15-minute chart. Write down what time of day, what session was it, Asian, London, or New York. Write down if you what market cycle you're actually seeing. What is the market doing? Is it going up? Is it coming down? Is it showing you a W pattern? Is it showing you an M pattern? From that point on, figure out if it's the low or the high of the day, or the sessions or the week, and then decipher on whether the trade itself, where you took it, was there a spike down? Was there, in terms of forex, was there a stop hunt or something along those lines happening? Why did you take that trade where you took it? Was there a particular candlestick pattern that was happening? Was there a support and resistance zone that you noticed that constantly bounced off? Now, if, say for instance, you lost the trade and that candle went straight through your support and resistance line, well, look to see if you potentially missed a sign on the chart somewhere that would have said to you that, hey, there's a trend about to develop. Look for that, study that. If you can pick up on it, I guarantee you're not going to make the same mistake the next time. So the next time, when you're doing your set of 10 trades, which might be over the course of the week, if you're still hitting 60%, and it's 60% what you did the previous week, you're doing something wrong. You need to analyze that even more. Okay? If you can, at the end of every trading day, walk away, come back in about half an hour, pick up your book, go over it, study it. That is what's going to make you a better trader, and eventually that's how you're going to hit 100% in the money, because you become so familiar with the mistakes you're currently constantly making. I bet you when you are losing trades, there's something that you're doing that's repetitive, and when you are winning trades, there's something that you're doing that's repetitive. That's all there is to it. If you can in your mind visualize that you're constantly winning these trades, that's what's going to happen. You're going to constantly win those trades. Okay? So please do that. I don't think there's anything else that I need to put into this that will make money management and being in the money any clearer. Certainly I'll put all that sort of stuff in the blog once that's going to launch, and that may be later today. Okay? So all the best with that. I will create a separate video for that. Alright guys, go make some money.